Bruce Lee's speed wasn't just legendary. It was faster than the cameras of his time could handle. But here's the shocking truth. His speed didn't come from superhuman genetics or even natural talent. It was the result of an obsessive dedication to training methods that broke every rule of traditional martial arts. And here's the best part. Understanding Bruce's methods can help you unlock your own speed, power, and adaptability. Whether you're stuck in your training or looking for an edge in combat, the secrets that we're uncovering today could help transform the way you think about martial arts forever. Bruce Lee's speed was so extraordinary that even cameras couldn't keep up.
Well, that was back when he was doing the Green Hornet on television in the United States. And the thing of it was the cameras weren't as sophisticated back then. And literally on television, they had to shoot it, they had to overcrank and shoot it in slow motion because otherwise it just looked like a special effect when he moved. I mean, the man was fast. He was deadly fast.
But how did he achieve such supernatural quickness? His movements were a blur, leaving opponents stunned, and yet his speed wasn't just instinct, it was meticulously trained. What techniques gave him such explosive precision? And then there's his strength. At just 135 pounds, Bruce Lee could generate more power than men twice his size. Was it sheer natural ability, or did he discover a way to magnify his strength far beyond what seemed possible? But perhaps most intriguing of all, many of Bruce's revolutionary techniques were never shared with the public. Why did he keep them hidden? Were they too advanced for his time, or was there something about his methods that he felt the world wasn't ready to see? To truly understand the genius of Bruce Lee, we have to look beyond his on-screen charisma and into the training principles that redefine martial arts, a journey that starts with his philosophy and the creation of Jeet Kune Do.
What is this thing you do?
In Cantonese, Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist.
Bruce Lee wasn't just a martial artist. He was a revolutionary thinker. His philosophy was clear. Adapt what is useful, reject what is useless, and add what is specifically your own. This idea gave birth to Jeet Kune Do, his personal style of martial arts which prioritized efficiency, fluidity, and practicality over rigid tradition. But Bruce's journey wasn't smooth. In 1964, after his fight with Wong Jack Man, Bruce realized his training wasn't enough to match his vision. Frustrated, he overhauled everything from his cardio to his strength routines. Contrary to popular belief, this was not about abandoning Wing Chun. It was about creating a new way to train the body and mind for combat. Here's where Bruce Lee broke the mold. He embraced modern strength and conditioning, borrowing from weightlifting, isometric training, and even bodybuilding to build functional, explosive power. But this was just the beginning of his evolution. Unlike many martial artists of his era, Bruce embraced strength training, but he wasn't interested in bulking up. His focus was on functional strength, building lean, explosive muscles tailored for combat. Isometric exercises, weighted drills, and bodyweight routines gave him the raw power to deliver strikes that felt like getting hit by a car. Bruce Lee's approach to strength training was a dynamic and evolving process, mirroring his journey as a martial artist. In his early years prior to the Wong Jack Man fight, his focus was on traditional methods, deeply rooted in Wing Chun training and conditioning methods. Hours were spent building a strong foundation of strength, endurance, and coordination through repetitive practice of traditional techniques. He spent hours training on the wooden dummy, and he would even perform weighted movements like wearing weights while performing Wing Chun forms. This period laid the groundwork for his future physical development. A pivotal shift occurred in the mid-1960s when Lee began incorporating weight training into his regimen. Bruce first took interest in weight training before the Wong Jack Man fight, when he became acquainted with his friends Jimmy Lee and Alan Joe in the San Francisco-Oakland area.
Bruce learned a great deal from Alan, and really it was because of Alan that he started using weights. Before that, he had not really learned weights, and he learned the proper way to use weights and build up his body.
Initially, he experimented with exercises like squats, pullovers, and curls, marking a departure from traditional methods. The famous workout cards that so many people talk about as the Bruce Lee workout was actually a program written by Bruce's friend Alan Joe, known as the first Chinese American to win a major bodybuilding competition. The program was meant to add a little bulk to Bruce's chest, shoulders, and arms. Bruce recognized the value of progressive resistance training in enhancing strength and power, but always prioritized functional strength, developing muscles that directly translated to his martial arts techniques. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, Lee further refined his approach as he started to move away from the bodybuilding routines that he initially followed under the guidance of Alan Joe. He incorporated compound exercises like the clean and press, squats, and bench presses, while also incorporating isometric training to build static strength and to enhance his ability to hold specific positions. He began to specialize in training specific muscle groups, particularly his abdominals, recognizing their crucial role as the center of gravity. In his later years, Lee embraced circuit training, utilizing his Marcy circuit trainer to combine strength training with cardiovascular exercise. This approach not only improved his overall fitness, but also contributed to the remarkable physique that he displayed in what many fans would consider the peak of his career in Way of the Dragon. Throughout his journey, Lee adhered to several key principles. Progressive overload. He constantly challenged his body by gradually increasing the weight, repetitions, or intensity of his workouts. Specificity. His focus remained on exercises that directly benefited his martial arts skills, ensuring that his strength training translated to increased power and effectiveness in combat. Variety. Lee incorporated a wide range of exercises and training methods to prevent plateaus and ensure continuous progress. Balance. He recognized the importance of a balanced approach, combining strength training with flexibility, cardiovascular fitness, and of course, skill development. Mind-body connection. Mental focus and non-intentional movement were integral to his training, allowing him to unleash his full power. But strength alone wasn't enough for Bruce Lee. To truly dominate in combat, he knew his power had to be paired with lightning speed and unmatched flexibility, qualities that allowed him to strike with both precision and fluidity, making him unstoppable. Speed and flexibility were Bruce's secret weapons. He trained tirelessly to ensure his striking was not just fast, but precise. He believed in the harmony of strength and agility, conditioning his body to move like water, fluid, adaptable, and unstoppable. Bruce Lee was renowned for his incredible flexibility, a crucial component of his legendary speed and overall martial arts prowess. This wasn't merely a natural gift. It was a meticulously cultivated skill. Believe it or not, Bruce Lee's first student, Jesse Glover, said that Bruce Lee had poor flexibility when he first started teaching in Seattle. Jesse said that Bruce wasn't very flexible and he knew that he would have to improve his flexibility if he were to become an all-around kung fu man. So what changed? Lee dedicated himself to consistent stretching, holding stretches for extended periods to gradually increase his range of motion. He incorporated dynamic warm-ups into his routine to prepare his muscles for the demands of training and to prevent injuries. His martial arts training naturally contributed to his flexibility, but he also utilized isometric training to enhance his flexibility. This exceptional flexibility translated directly into increased speed in several ways. Increased range of motion. Lee could execute techniques with a greater range of motion, reaching targets more quickly and efficiently. His high kicks, for instance, were a testament to his exceptional hip flexibility, enabling him to strike with devastating speed. Reduced resistance. Flexible muscles offered less resistance to movement, allowing him to move more freely and fluidly. This translated into faster execution of techniques and increased overall speed. Enhanced muscle elasticity. Flexible muscles contract and relax more rapidly, contributing to his explosive power and the speed with which he could generate force. Improved biomechanics. Flexibility allowed him to maintain optimal body alignment and posture, promoting efficient movement patterns and reducing the risk of injury. This biomechanical advantage enabled him to move with greater speed and agility. Bruce Lee's writings and teachings suggest that he saw flexibility as a crucial element of his martial arts philosophy, contributing to his speed, power, and overall effectiveness as a fighter. Though Bruce Lee may not have explicitly stated it in a quote, his actions and the principles he espoused clearly demonstrate his belief in the vital role of flexibility in achieving martial arts mastery. Now, one of the things that you'll see consistently when it comes to how Bruce Lee trained his strength and increased his speed is the role of isometrics in his training programs. In the mid-1960s, Bruce Lee began to follow the work of Bob Hoffman, credited as the person who revived isometrics training. Now, I mentioned isometrics in some previous videos as something that old-time strongmen and classic bodybuilders were doing, but I don't think anyone understands just how big the isometrics boom was back then. According to Bob Hoffman's work, he wasn't only working with elite powerlifters and bodybuilders of his time, he'd also played a role in the training of several All-American collegiate football players who went on to become stars in the NFL. He helped some college basketball teams become even more dominant. At least one basketball player following Hoffman's methods went on to become an NBA Hall of Famer. So what I'm saying is this: Bruce Lee following Bob Hoffman's work would be the equivalent of a combat sport athlete following a training program designed for elite professional athletes today. Now, I'm not saying just do isometrics and become an elite athlete. Bruce Lee was using isometrics as a complement to the training that he was already doing. The great thing about isometrics training is that they directly contributed to increasing Bruce's strength and power. And see, because they required a small recovery window, he could essentially perform them every single day. Unlike dynamic exercises like weightlifting, isometrics focus on holding a specific muscle contraction. And this proved invaluable for Bruce Lee in several ways. First, isometrics significantly enhanced his strength, crucial for increasing his grip strength for grappling techniques and resisting incoming forces. Secondly, they allowed for overall muscle strengthening, enabling him to develop full body strength that would be relevant to his martial arts practice. So you can see that isometrics were very important to the further development of Bruce Lee's strength and speed. But what's the big deal with them? Well, you see, what most people believe is that speed training exclusively involves fast, explosive movements. You know, it's only logical to think that, well, if you want to be fast and explosive, then you need to train fast and explosively. But isometrics exercises prove that that line of thinking is not quite right. In isometric exercises, muscles contract without changing length, and they can effectively enhance speed and jump height. Isometrics effectively recruit fast-twitch muscle fibers, the key players in explosive movements. Despite the static nature of the exercise, the high force demands of isometric contraction stimulate these fibers, leading to improved speed and power output. And beyond their effectiveness, isometrics offer a significant advantage in terms of safety. Compared to high-impact plyometric training, which carries an increased risk of injury, isometric exercises are generally safer, making them a suitable option for athletes of all levels. The benefits of isometric training extend beyond simple speed and jump height. They effectively transfer to complex athletic movements such as cycling, sprinting, climbing, and even martial arts, where explosive power and rapid force production are essential. The key takeaway is that, well, you don't necessarily need to move fast to train fast-twitch muscles. By focusing on the high-intensity muscle contractions as in isometric exercises, you can effectively stimulate these fibers and enhance your speed and power capabilities. And then remember when I said they're safer? Well, after Bruce's several back injuries in the late 1960s, because he had more than one, isometric exercises likely played a crucial role in his rehabilitation. Their low-impact nature made them ideal for strengthening muscles while minimizing further strain on his back. Like I said, isometrics were just one piece of Bruce Lee's multifaceted training puzzle. He integrated them seamlessly with other methods like weight training, calisthenics, plyometrics, and of course, his martial arts training. This holistic approach reflects his belief in constant evolution and adaptation within his training regimen to maximize its effectiveness and achieve peak performance. The fact that Bruce Lee trained on equipment created by Bob Hoffman to improve athletic performance clearly demonstrates Bruce Lee's understanding and application of isometric training principles. He recognized their unique benefits, such as building static strength, enhancing punching power, and supplementing weight training and fostering mental focus. And this innovative approach to training, combined with his relentless pursuit of self-improvement, solidified his reputation as a true martial arts pioneer. Bruce Lee didn't just push martial arts forward, he shattered its boundaries. By combining Eastern traditions with Western innovations, Bruce laid the foundation for modern fitness and combat sports. His style, Jeet Kune Do, rejected the rigidity of one-way thinking, blending elements from boxing, fencing, and wrestling to create a system that prioritized adaptability and effectiveness. Bruce also applied his approach to creating Jeet Kune Do to his training. He looked for the simplest methods of training that produced the biggest result possible. Take his use of isometric training. This was actually a traditional training method for martial artists that, for some reason, was being overlooked by the American martial artists of his time. Bruce used isometric training to develop explosive power and static strength beyond the methods that he had practiced in his version of Wing Chun, which enabled him to strike with incredible force. This wasn't just groundbreaking, it was a vision of what martial arts could become. And today, the influence of Bruce's training philosophy is clear in the versatility and fluidity that we see in MMA and in modern fitness programs. Bruce wasn't just about training harder, he was about training smarter, building a system designed for peak performance. His legacy reminds us that mastery isn't about sticking to rules, it's about breaking them to find what works. Consider the words of just a few of the people who were inspired by Bruce Lee. Sugar Ray Leonard, a boxing legend, said that he admired Bruce Lee's dedication to pushing beyond the fundamentals of his craft. Leonard told Playboy magazine, "I wanted to do in boxing what Bruce was able to do in the martial arts. Lee was an artist, and like him, I try to get beyond the fundamentals of my sport. I want my fights to be seen as plays." And another boxer, Ricky the Hitman Hatton, said that he was motivated by Bruce Lee's unique fighting style and his ability to generate power despite his smaller size. Hatton stated his technique was fantastic, his unique style, there wasn't anything that he couldn't do. Because he was so small from his leverages, angles, and his speed, he could get more power, which is what basically you have to do in boxing. Bruce Lee taught us one of the most powerful lessons. The key to greatness isn't talent, it's adaptability. To be like water means embracing change, flowing around obstacles, and constantly refining yourself. Whether it's in martial arts, fitness, or life itself, the journey to mastery lies in evolving every single day. And that's the essence of Bruce Lee's genius.
Be water, my friend.
You guys want to go even deeper into Bruce Lee's legendary training? Well, hey, check out my next video where I break down his strength and conditioning secrets in even more detail. It's packed with actionable insights to supercharge your fitness journey. And as always, hey, y'all keep training, remember to breathe, and come back and holler at me in the next video.